Time to get this 390 apart. Hot tank for cleaning. I personally prefer to strip them down while standing up on end. I just stick a couple of blocks of wood under the bell housing here. And this lets the rear flange clear the table so I can rotate the crank freely without the block moving around on me. And I prefer to break my bolts with a breaker bar first. And then I knock them off with whatever power tool. With a pan rail hanging out like this, sometimes you need something to reach in there to get that back one. You can put some rod bolt protecting coverings on here, like these ones from Clevite, and a rubber hose would actually work as well. I just use a piece of round stock like so. Push the pistons out of the cylinders. Throw on some protective coverings, and out she comes. So while I was prying at this lower timing gear here, I noticed that the crankshaft seems to have a lot of visual end play. I'm just going to set a dial indicator up. So with this dial zeroed out, or relatively close to, we can see that, I'm getting roughly 14 thousandths of end play on the crankshaft. Break the main bolts loose. In this case, these weren't even remotely close to the 105, 110 foot-pound of torque these are usually at. That actually felt like 30, 40. Holy smokes. Oh my. Same with this fourth cap here. And I don't know if someone's just been in here to have a look at some time or what, but none of these were actually tight, so I don't know. Either way, we'll figure that out later. Now, one of the things I'm looking for when I take a cap out is how well it fits into the registers of the block. The sides of the caps are supposed to squeeze in nice and tight into the sides of the block here. Good. Let's get the crankshaft out of this block. And now we can slide our camshaft out. Now, I'm not exactly working to be gentle here. I'm replacing all this stuff. So this is the point where quite often I would perform a pressure test. But this engine came out a running driving car that had some runnability issues, not water issues. So we're not going to bother with a pressure test on this one. When it comes out of the hot tank, it'll get cleaned up a bit and go for a magnafluxing, absolutely. But we're going to skip on the pressure test on this one. I'm going to knock these cam bearings out. I'm going to slide this down until it contacts that rear cam plug. And we just knock that rear cam plug to the moon. So with that plug out, I'm ready to drive the cam bearings out. And just like that, our cam bearing comes out. And that was the last bearing. Now, since I won't be performing a pressure test on this block, I can go ahead and get these plugs out. Got 3 oil passages that end on the front of the block. One of them's right here. It goes through the lifter bores and is plugged with the retaining bolt that holds the thrust plate on. Another one is right here, and it just uses a 7/16 cup plug. And behind this clearance hole in the front casting is the end of the other side's lifter bores, and there's a 7/16 cup plug in there as well. These 2 plugs we're going to remove from the back side. That's good. We got all those out. So with these plug removes, I can slide a steel rod in here, and I just now butt it up against the back side of that plug in the front that is just a 7/16 plug. So I'm going to tap this with a hammer here. And then I can do the same with this one. Except, but I run into a little problem, and is what that is the hole going through the lifter bores doesn't line up on the other side of this lifter. It's missing just enough that I can't push this through, and forcing this through would damage that lifter bore. I'm not interested in doing that. So I'll just leave that one alone, and I'll deal with that after the block is cleaned out. In the lifter valley area, we got 4 more oil passage endings, and they all got 7/16 cup plugs in them. But I'm going to wait till after it comes out of the hot tank and is clean before I deal with those. So now that that block is stripped, I'm just going through and taking all the pistons off the connecting rods. So I'll take out the clip, remove the rod. I'm going to keep the wrist pin and the piston together and put the clip back in. We'll keep those together too. Oh, looks like I got to add a little bit of water. So that's fine. We'll just add a little charge. Getting these damn child-proof things. So basically, all the hot tank stuff is, we don't need that much, it's a form of a detergent here. And you know, if you got sensitive skin, getting on your skin like I just did will really burn. And I'm going to wash this off much sooner than later. But yeah, basically I'll just add a little bit in there, and we'll add some hot water. Let it mix really good. It's got a pretty strong scent to it. If you got allergies, you might not like this. As for the smell, it's a really powerful cleansing smell. I kind of like the way it smells. And once I get that filled up, I got a brush here for cleaning out cylinders, and I just use that to mix it up really quick. And just dump her in. And that's it. So that's it for that. I got that short block all stripped and in this hot tank, and it's just going to sit in here till tomorrow morning, and then I'll take it out and clean it up and get the rest of this engine in that tank that we didn't deal with today. I got 2 sets of heads that came with it, and rocker shafts and a valley plate, and I just see a couple other things over there that kind of go with this engine. So deal with all that tomorrow. We're not in a hurry for this, and I got a lot of jobs here that people are in a hurry for, so I better get back to work. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see if I can come up with something else for you guys. Take it easy.